Picture this. You're standing in the middle of a storm, insults flying, provocations swirling, chaos pressing in from every side. Yet you remain untouched. Your heart rate doesn't spike, your voice doesn't waver, your mind is a fortress, impenetrable, unshaken. No one can rattle you, no one can steal your peace. You're in control, and others sense it. They hesitate, they falter, they back down. How do you become this kind of person? The kind who commands respect without raising a fist, who dominates a room without saying a word, who makes others think twice before crossing you. The secret lies in the timeless wisdom of Machiavelli, the master of power and human nature, whose insights from The Prince remain as sharp and relevant today as they were 500 years ago. In this video, we're diving deep into Machiavelli's dark psychology to uncover the principles that transform reactive, emotional people into untouchable forces of mental dominance. These aren't just tips for staying calm, they're strategies for wielding power, controlling perceptions, and mastering the art of influence in a world that's constantly trying to pull you off balance. Why does this matter? Because every day we're bombarded with challenges to our peace. A cutting remark from a colleague, a passive-aggressive jab from a friend, a stranger's rudeness in passing. These moments test us. They push us to react, to lose our cool, to give away our power. Most people crumble under the pressure. They snap back, they argue, they let their emotions take the wheel, and in doing so, they hand their adversaries the victory. But what if you could flip the script? What if you could train your mind to stay steady, to turn provocations into opportunities, to make others question themselves instead of you? That's the promise of Machiavelli's psychology. It's not about being cold or cruel, it's about being strategic, deliberate, and untouchable. It's about understanding the hidden dynamics of human behavior and using them to your advantage. Machiavelli, the 16th century philosopher and political strategist, didn't just write about power, he dissected it. He studied kings, generals, and everyday people, peeling back the layers of human nature to reveal what makes us tick, what makes us weak, and what makes us formidable. His work, The Prince, is often misunderstood as a manual for ruthless ambition, but it's far more than that. It's a blueprint for navigating a world where people are driven by self-interest, where trust is fragile, and where strength is often a matter of perception. Machiavelli didn't sugarcoat reality, he faced it head-on, and he taught us how to do the same. His lessons aren't about manipulating others for the sake of it. They're about protecting yourself, securing your position, and commanding the kind of respect that makes people think twice before challenging you. In this video, we're going to unpack the core of Machiavelli's teachings and apply them to modern life. You'll discover how to stop letting others get under your skin. You'll learn why emotional outbursts are the fastest way to lose control and how to replace them with calculated responses that keep you in the driver's seat. You'll see how silence, when used strategically, can be more powerful than any argument. And you'll understand how to craft an aura of strength that makes others wary of testing you. These principles aren't just for leaders or politicians. They're for anyone who wants to move through life with confidence, clarity, and unshakable composure. Whether you're dealing with a toxic coworker, a demanding boss, or even your own inner doubts, Machiavelli's insights will give you the tools to stay in control. Let's be clear, this isn't about becoming someone you're not. It's about unlocking the strength that's already within you. It's about recognizing that every interaction is a game of power, whether you like it or not, and learning how to play it well. Most people don't realize how much power they give away every day. Through their words, their reactions, their body language, they let others dictate their mood, their decisions, their peace of mind. But you don't have to. You can choose to be different. You can choose to be untouchable. And that choice starts with understanding the psychological strategies that Machiavelli mastered centuries ago. Think about the last time someone got under your skin. Maybe it was a snide comment, a deliberate slight, or just someone pushing your buttons. How did you react? Did you fire back only to regret it later? Did you stew in silence, letting it eat away at you? Or did you wish you had a way to handle it that left you feeling powerful instead of powerless? That's what this video is about, giving you the tools to handle those moments with grace, strength, and strategy. It's about turning the tables so that you're in control, not the one being controlled. It's about learning how to make others second-guess themselves while you remain calm, collected, and untouchable. By the end of this video, you'll walk away with practical, actionable insights you can start using today. You don't need to be a genius or a master manipulator to apply these principles. You just need to understand how human nature works and how to use it to your advantage. Machiavelli's psychology isn't about being cold or cruel. It's about being strategic, deliberate, and untouchable. It's about understanding the hidden dynamics of human behavior and using them to your advantage. So if you're ready to stop letting others bother you, if you're tired of giving away your power, if you want to learn how to command respect and dominate any situation without breaking a sweat, then this video is for you. We're going to break down Machiavelli's timeless strategies and show you how to apply them in your life, whether you're navigating a tough workplace, a tricky social dynamic, or even just trying to stay true to yourself in a world that's always pulling you in different directions. Get ready to transform how you think, how you act, and how others perceive you. Let's dive into the art of mental dominance and discover how to become someone no one dares to bother. Stay tuned. This is going to change the way you see yourself and the world around you. Let's start with a truth that hits hard. Every time you let your emotions take over, you're handing your power to someone else. A sharp insult, a sly jab, a moment of disrespect. When you react with anger, frustration, or even visible hurt, you're giving the other person exactly what they want. They've cracked your armor, and now they know they can control you. Niccolo Machiavelli, the mastermind behind The Prince, understood this better than anyone. In his view, emotional reactions are the ultimate sign of weakness. They make you predictable, vulnerable, and easy to manipulate. To become untouchable, to command respect and maintain your inner peace, you must learn to master your emotions. This chapter dives deep into why emotional reactions betray you and how to replace impulsive outbursts with calculated control, drawing directly from Machiavelli's timeless psychology. Imagine you're at work and a colleague makes a snide comment about your latest project in front of the team. Your face flushes, your heart races, and before you know it, you're firing back with a defensive retort. The room goes quiet, but not because you've won. It's because everyone can see you've lost your cool. In that moment, your colleague has the upper hand. They've exposed your vulnerability, and now they know exactly how to push your buttons. Machiavelli would call this a fatal mistake. In The Prince, he warns that those who let their emotions dictate their actions are easily controlled by others. Every outburst, every visible sign of distress is like handing your opponent a map to your weaknesses. They'll use it again and again, and each time you'll feel a little less in control. Why do emotional reactions make you so vulnerable? It's because they're instinctive, not strategic. When you lash out in anger or shrink back in insecurity, you're not thinking, you're reacting. And in that reaction, you reveal more about yourself than you intend. Machiavelli's first lesson is clear. The person who stays calm, who doesn't let emotions cloud their judgment, is the one who holds the power. Think about it. When someone tries to provoke you, their goal is to pull you into their game. They want you to react, to lose your composure, to give them the satisfaction of seeing you rattled. But what happens if you don't take the bait? What happens if, instead of snapping back, you pause, assess, and respond with deliberate calm? Suddenly, the dynamic shifts. They're the ones left scrambling, unsure of their next move, while you remain firmly in control. Let's break this down further. Emotional reactions don't just expose your weaknesses, they make you predictable. If someone knows they can make you angry with a certain comment or fluster you with a particular jab, they've got a playbook to use against you. Machiavelli understood that predictability is a death sentence in the game of power. In his world, whether you were a prince or a commoner, being predictable meant being manipulable. If your enemies, or even your friends, know exactly how you'll react, they can plan around it. They can provoke you into mistakes, lure you into arguments, or push you into decisions that serve their interests, not yours. The solution? Break the pattern. Train yourself to respond in ways that defy expectations. Instead of anger, offer indifference. Instead of defensiveness, show confidence. This unpredictability keeps others on their toes and ensures you're the one steering the interaction. Consider a real-world example. Let's say you're in a heated discussion with a friend who's trying to get a rise out of you. They bring up a past mistake, hoping to embarrass you or spark an argument. The old you might have jumped in, defending yourself, or throwing accusations back. But the Machiavellian approach is different. You pause. You take a breath. You look them in the eye and respond with a calm, measured statement. Or maybe you don't respond at all. That pause, that moment of composure, is your first step toward mental dominance. It's not about suppressing your feelings. It's about choosing when and how to express them, ensuring every move serves your purpose, not someone else's. Machiavelli's psychology here is rooted in a simple but profound truth. Emotions are a signal to others. When you show anger, you signal that you're threatened. When you show fear, you signal that you're weak. When you show frustration, you signal that you're out of your depth. These signals invite others to exploit you, to push harder, to see how far they can go. But when you master your emotions, you send a different signal: strength. You show that you're not easily shaken, that you're in control of yourself, and by extension, the situation. This is why Machiavelli emphasized the importance of self-discipline. In The Prince, he advises rulers to act with calculation, not passion, because passion clouds judgment and invites disaster. The same applies to you. Whether you're navigating a workplace rivalry, a family conflict, or a tense negotiation, your ability to stay composed is your greatest weapon. So how do you start? It begins with awareness. The next time you feel your emotions rising, whether it's anger, embarrassment, or anxiety, pause. Take a mental step back and ask yourself, what is this person trying to achieve? Are they provoking me to gain control? Are they testing my limits? This moment of reflection is crucial. It pulls you out of the emotional spiral and puts you back in the driver's seat. From there, you can choose your response deliberately. Maybe it's a calm, confident reply that redirects the conversation. Maybe it's a subtle smile that says, "You can't touch me." Or maybe it's no response at all, just a steady gaze that leaves them wondering what you're thinking. Each of these choices reinforces your power and keeps your opponent off balance. Let's look at another scenario. Imagine you're in a high-stakes meeting and someone challenges your idea in a way that feels personal. Your instinct might be to defend yourself, to prove them wrong, to show everyone you're right. But that's a trap. The moment you get defensive, you're playing their game. Instead, channel Machiavelli's wisdom. Acknowledge their point with a nod, then calmly restate your position with clarity and confidence. Or, if the situation calls for it, ask a pointed question that shifts the focus back to them. For example, "That's an interesting perspective. Can you explain how it addresses the core issue?" This move not only keeps you composed, but also puts them on the spot, forcing them to justify their challenge while you remain unshaken. This approach requires practice, but it's transformative. Start small. The next time you feel provoked, give yourself a 3-second rule. Count to 3 before responding. Use that time to breathe, think, and choose your move. Over time, this habit will rewire how you handle conflict. You'll notice that people stop trying to push your buttons because they know it won't work. They'll sense that you're different, calmer, stronger, untouchable. This is the essence of Machiavellian power, not dominating others through force, but through the quiet strength of self-control. Another key insight from Machiavelli is the importance of observation. Before you respond to any provocation, take a moment to analyze the other person's intentions. Are they trying to undermine you? Are they seeking attention? Are they insecure and lashing out to feel powerful? Understanding their motives gives you an edge. It lets you craft a response that neutralizes their strategy while reinforcing your own. For example, if someone's trying to embarrass you in front of others, a calm, humorous deflection can turn the tables, making them look petty while you come across as confident and unbothered. This kind of strategic thinking is what separates the reactive from the untouchable. Ultimately, the weakness of emotional reactions lies in how they expose you. They let others see your limits, your insecurities, your breaking points. Machiavelli's genius was in recognizing that true power comes from concealing those vulnerabilities. By mastering your emotions, you become a mystery to others, a force they can't predict or control. You don't have to be emotionless, you just have to be deliberate. Feel what you feel, but choose how you express it. Let your responses serve your goals, not your impulses. This is the first step to mental dominance, and it's a step anyone can take with practice and intention. By embracing this principle, you're not just protecting your peace, you're claiming your power. You're telling the world that no one can bother you unless you let them. And when you stop letting them, you become someone others respect, fear, or both. That's the Machiavellian way. So, the next time someone tries to pull you into their chaos, remember, your emotions are yours to control. Don't give them away. Stay calm, stay strategic, and watch how the dynamic shifts in your favor. This is how you begin to build a mind that no one can shake.
In a world where everyone is shouting to be heard, where arguments escalate and words fly like weapons, there's one strategy that stands above the noise: silence. Not the passive, timid silence of someone who has nothing to say, but the deliberate, calculated silence of someone who knows their power. Niccolo Machiavelli, the master strategist behind The Prince, understood that silence is not just an absence of words, it's a weapon. When wielded with intention, silence can unsettle your opponents, shift the balance of power, and make you untouchable. It's a tool that creates mystery, projects strength, and forces others to reveal their hand while you remain in control. In this chapter, we're diving deep into how to use silence strategically to dominate interactions, command respect, and protect your inner peace, drawing directly from Machiavelli's timeless psychology. Picture a tense moment. Someone's trying to provoke you. Maybe it's a colleague throwing shade in a meeting, a friend making a passive-aggressive dig, or even a stranger challenging you in public. Your instinct might be to fire back, to defend yourself, to fill the air with words that prove you're right. But what if you didn't? What if instead of reacting, you stayed silent, completely still, eyes locked on theirs, your face unreadable? In that moment, something shifts. The other person falters. They expected a fight, a reaction, a crack in your armor, but your silence throws them off balance. They start to wonder, what are they thinking? Why aren't they responding? Did I go too far? This is the power of silence. It's not about being weak or passive. It's about being strategic. It's about using the absence of words to create presence, to dominate without effort, to make others question themselves while you remain untouchable. Machiavelli knew that words can betray you. The more you say, the more you reveal about your intentions, your emotions, your vulnerabilities. In The Prince, he advises leaders to speak less than necessary, to let others fill the gaps with their assumptions and fears. Why? Because silence creates ambiguity, and ambiguity creates power. When you don't rush to explain yourself, defend your position, or argue your point, you leave others guessing. They can't predict your next move, and that uncertainty makes them cautious. It makes them doubt themselves. It gives you the upper hand without lifting a finger. This is the essence of using silence as a weapon. It's a deliberate choice to withhold your words until the moment is right, ensuring that every word you do say carries maximum impact. Let's break this down with a real-world example. Imagine you're in a negotiation and the other party throws out a lowball offer, expecting you to counter immediately or get flustered. Most people would jump in, arguing why the offer is unfair or scrambling to justify their value. But what if you didn't? What if, instead of reacting, you leaned back, maintained steady eye contact, and let the silence stretch for just a few seconds longer than feels uncomfortable? That pause does something powerful. It signals confidence. It suggests you're not desperate, not rattled, not eager to please. The other person might start rambling, offering justifications, or even sweetening the deal to fill the awkward void. Your silence didn't just hold the line, it shifted the entire dynamic in your favor. This is what Machiavelli meant when he emphasized economy of words. Say less and let others do the talking for you. Why does silence work so well? Because humans are wired to fear the unknown. When you don't respond as expected, you become an enigma. People start projecting their insecurities onto you, wondering what you're planning, what you know, or what you're capable of. This is where silence becomes a psychological weapon. It's not just about staying quiet, it's about controlling the space around you. It's about letting the other person's imagination run wild while you remain calm and composed. Machiavelli understood that power lies in perception, and silence is one of the most effective ways to shape how others perceive you. By saying less, you appear more thoughtful, more deliberate, more formidable. You become someone who commands attention not because you demand it, but because others can't help but wonder what's going on in your mind. Let's explore another scenario. Say you're in a heated discussion with a friend who's trying to guilt-trip you into doing something you don't want to do. They're laying it on thick, pushing every emotional button they can find. The old you might have argued back, explaining why they're wrong or why you can't comply. But the Machiavellian approach is different. You listen, you nod, and then you let the silence hang. You don't rush to fill the gap with excuses or apologies. Instead, you let them keep talking. Let them dig themselves deeper. Let them reveal their true intentions. Often, they'll backtrack or even soften their stance, unsure why their tactics aren't working. Your silence forces them to confront their own words, and in doing so, it gives you the upper hand. You've turned their attempt to manipulate you into an opportunity to assert your control, all without saying a word. This kind of strategic silence takes practice because it goes against our natural instincts. We're conditioned to respond quickly, to defend ourselves, to keep the conversation flowing. But Machiavelli's genius was in recognizing that restraint is often more powerful than action. In The Prince, he advises leaders to avoid being overly talkative because excessive words dilute your authority. When you speak only when necessary, your words carry weight. When you stay silent, you create space for others to reveal themselves. This is why silence is such a potent weapon. It's a tool for observation. By staying quiet, you can watch the other person's body language, listen to their tone, and pick up on subtle cues that reveal their motives. You're gathering intelligence while they're giving it away, and all you had to do was hold your tongue. How do you start using silence effectively? It begins with intention. The next time you're in a tense situation, make a conscious choice to pause before responding. Count to 3 in your head, or take a slow breath. Use that moment to assess the situation. What is the other person trying to achieve? How can your silence shift the dynamic? Then decide whether to speak or let the silence do the work for you. If you choose to speak, keep it brief and deliberate. Let your words hit with precision. If you choose silence, pair it with strong body language. Maintain eye contact. Keep your posture relaxed but confident, and let your calm demeanor amplify the effect. This combination of silence and presence is what makes others uneasy because it signals that you're in control even when the situation feels chaotic. Let's consider another example, this time in a social setting. You're at a gathering and someone makes a comment designed to embarrass you in front of others, maybe a subtle jab about your job, your appearance, or a past mistake.
The room's eyes are on you, waiting for your reaction. Most people would feel pressured to laugh it off, fire back, or stammer through a defense. But imagine this: you meet their gaze, offer a faint smile, and say nothing. The silence stretches just long enough to make them squirm. The group senses the tension, but it's not coming from you, it's coming from the person who tried to put you on the spot. Your silence doesn't just deflect their attack, it turns it back on them. They're left wondering if they miscalculated, while you come across as unruffled and untouchable. This kind of power is what Machiavelli admired: the ability to dominate without escalating, to win without fighting. Silence also has another advantage: it conserves your energy. Arguments and emotional outbursts are draining. They pull you into a cycle of reaction and counter-reaction, leaving you exhausted and no closer to your goal. But silence is effortless. It requires no words, no justification, no defense. It's a way to stay above the fray, to keep your focus on what matters, while others waste their energy trying to provoke you. Machiavelli's philosophy is all about efficiency. Do what achieves the most with the least effort. By choosing silence, you're not just avoiding unnecessary conflict, you're positioning yourself as the one who controls the interaction. You're showing that you don't need to prove yourself because your strength speaks for itself.
Composure is the silent force that makes you untouchable. It's the ability to stand firm when the world around you is spiraling, to project calm when others are losing their grip, to radiate strength without saying a word. In The Prince, Niccolo Machiavelli emphasizes that true power comes from a mind that remains steady under pressure. Unshakable composure isn't just about staying calm. It's about commanding respect, intimidating challengers, and controlling the narrative of any situation. When you master this skill, no one can shake your peace or derail your focus. This chapter explores how to build that ironclad composure, drawing on Machiavelli's timeless strategies to help you become someone others admire, rely on, or fear to cross. Imagine you're in a high-pressure situation, a heated meeting, a personal confrontation, or a crisis where all eyes are on you. Most people crack under the weight. They fidget, their voice trembles, or they rush to fill the tension with words. But not you. With composure, you stand tall, your movements deliberate, your expression unreadable. You don't react impulsively or betray unease. Instead, you exude a quiet confidence that shifts the room's energy. People notice. They lean in. They trust your judgment or hesitate to challenge you. This is the power of composure. It's not just self-control, but a signal to the world that you're in command, no matter the chaos around you. Machiavelli understood that composure is the foundation of authority. In his view, a leader who remains steady in the face of adversity inspires loyalty and deters opposition. The same applies to everyday life. Whether you're navigating a workplace rivalry, a tense family dynamic, or a public challenge, your ability to stay composed sets you apart. It's not about suppressing your emotions, it's about channeling them strategically, ensuring they serve your goals rather than sabotage them. Composure makes you a rock in a storm, someone others look to for stability or hesitate to provoke. How do you build this kind of unshakable presence? It starts with preparation. Machiavelli advised rulers to anticipate challenges and plan their responses, and you can do the same. Before entering a high-stakes situation, visualize potential provocations or obstacles. Imagine how you'll respond, not with anger or panic, but with calm, deliberate action. This mental rehearsal trains your mind to stay steady when the real moment arrives. For example, if you know a colleague often tries to undermine you in meetings, prepare a composed response in advance, a concise, confident statement that redirects the conversation without escalating. By anticipating the challenge,
You rob it of its power to catch you off guard. Body language is another cornerstone of composure. Machiavelli knew that how you carry yourself shapes how others perceive you. A slumped posture, fidgeting hands, or darting eyes signal nervousness and invite others to exploit it. Instead, adopt deliberate habits. Stand or sit upright. Keep your movements slow and controlled. Maintain steady eye contact. These small choices project confidence and deter challenges. For instance, in a tense negotiation, leaning back slightly with a relaxed but attentive posture can make the other party second-guess their approach. Your body becomes a billboard for your inner strength, reinforcing your untouchable presence. Composure also requires mental discipline. When pressure mounts, your mind can race, flooding you with doubt or adrenaline. To counter this, practice grounding techniques. A simple one is controlled breathing. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 4, exhale for 4. This slows your heart rate and clears your mind, giving you space to think strategically. Machiavelli's rulers didn't react impulsively. They calculated, and you can do the same by pausing to assess before acting. Ask yourself, what's at stake? What does my opponent want? How can I respond to advance my position? This brief pause transforms a reactive moment into a strategic one. Consider a scenario. You're leading a project and a crisis erupts. A deadline is missed and the team is panicking. A reactive leader might snap or micromanage, spreading more chaos. But a composed leader steps back, assesses the situation, and speaks with clarity. Let's identify the issue and focus on solutions. Your calm becomes contagious, restoring order and earning respect. Machiavelli would approve. This is leadership through stability, not force. Your composure doesn't just solve the problem, it signals to everyone that you're a force to be reckoned with. Building composure takes practice, but it's a skill anyone can develop. Start in low-stakes moments, when someone cuts you off in traffic or a coworker interrupts you. Resist the urge to react. Instead, pause, breathe, and respond with deliberate calm. Over time, these small victories build a habit that carries into bigger challenges. You'll notice people treat you differently. They'll hesitate to provoke you, seek your input, or defer to your judgment. This is because composure is not just about you, it's about how others perceive you. It's the quiet power that makes you untouchable. Ultimately, unshakable composure is about owning your space in the world. It's about refusing to let external chaos dictate your inner state. Machiavelli knew that those who master themselves master their circumstances. By preparing mentally, controlling your body language, and disciplining your reactions, you become someone who commands respect effortlessly. No one can bother you when your composure is a fortress, strong, steady, and impenetrable. Start building that fortress today and watch how the world shifts in your favor.